You are Locked On Tigers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Detroit on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
And away we go on an Independence Day version. Happy 4th of July to everybody. Welcome into a live Locked On Tigers postcast. I am your host, Jake Riepma. You can follow me on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at Jake_Riepma. And you know what? The Tigers are in a rain delay right now. So this is the rare game's still going technically postcast, but it's 12-3 Twins, and we all know how this one ends. It's been 12 unanswered runs by the Twins. Kenta Maeda going to Kenta Maeda, but we've seen enough. It's time for everybody to commiserate for a little while on Locked On Tigers postcast and then get on with your 4th of July day plans. We've got cookouts to have, fireworks to see, and so on and so forth. We're not going to let this baseball team hold us hostage during a rain delay. But welcome one, welcome all. Thanks, as always, for making Locked On Tigers postcast your destination after the final out, or in this case, during a rain delay. We've got you covered any way you slice it. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, and of course on YouTube at Locked On Sports Detroit. It's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And you know what? Today's episode of Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by Booking.com. Yeah. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rivals. All you got to do is check out Booking.com for your stay today. Booking.com, Yeah. And today actually started with a lot of promise. We had some exciting fireworks. Oh, how about that 4th of July pun? We had some good fireworks in the early going from the Tigers bats. Colt Keith looking good at the plate with a solo home run. Jake Rogers, a 2-run double. You think, hey, Tigers got a 3-0 lead. Maybe, just maybe, we could win a series. Take 2 of 3 from the Minnesota Twins, who are surging at the right time. And then Kenta Maeda was on the mound. Oh, yeah, that's right. Kenta gonna Kenta. And that sounds mean. It sounds harsh, but the guy's just stinks. He's been terrible. And you know what? That's not to take away what he accomplished in his career. It's not to hurl insults at him. It's just we took a chance on a guy, and it's going to look like a lousy deal, a 2-year deal for a guy who just doesn't have it anymore. And again, this is going to come across mean maybe, but it's just calling it how it is. The guy just can't, he doesn't have it anymore. You can't continue to trot Kenta Maeda out and expect to be considered a real baseball team, a real major league team. It's just, what do the kids say? You're just not serious. You're not serious about baseball if Kenta Maeda is your starting rotation. You get shelled 3 2/3, 9 hits, 9 earned runs. He walked 3, struck out 3, gave up 1 home run, threw 88 pitches through that 3 2/3. And you look at the scoring plays for the Twins in the second. I guess maybe I should give Kenta Maeda credit. I thought I was going to get away from him in the second inning with the 2 back-to-back doubles to lead off the inning. And the Twins only got 2 runs in that second inning to make it 3-2. Tigers still had a lead, but then we jump ahead to the third, 3 more runs for the Twins, and then in the fourth, 4 more runs. Getting ugly. UGLY, ugly. And just more of the same from Kenta Maeda. And again, this is going to sound mean and harsh, like I'm picking on the guy, but we say it every time. And you go through his game log, and it's just, actually one of his better starts is last time out against the Angels, just the 2 earned runs and 5 1/3, but 3 earned runs and 4 2/3 against the White Sox, 4 earned runs in 5 innings against the Astros. The Tigers just lose every time Kenta Maeda pitches. I mean, they've lost, if you count today's game as a loss, it will be the last, let me just count them right here, the last 6 times, and then 7 counting today. The last 7 times Kenta Maeda has taken the mound, the Tigers have lost. And I know, again, at this point sounds harsh. He is a respectable big leaguer, or was a respectable big league pitcher, had a career with the Twins, but his career is over. And we're going to get to the comments on YouTube. If you're watching on Locked On Sports Detroit, we appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe and tell a friend to subscribe as well. But I got to get this off my chest. I mean, you got to give up on Kenta Maeda. And I know it's a 2-year deal, and I know you got to eat whatever it is off the books, but you just can't trot this guy out there to pitch anymore. And if you continue to, I wouldn't blame a single fan for not having any interest in this baseball team, because you're just not serious about the product on the field if Kenta Maeda is in the starting pitching rotation. So let's get to those comments. And what a way to lead it off. It's Jason Walter, USA, drink. Yeah, the Tigers make you want to drink there. That's for sure. There is no doubt about it. And I've got my, if you're watching on the YouTube, I've got my USA or American flag polo on. Bring it out from time to time. I've got this one from the Rocket Mortgage Classic a couple years ago. I know we just had the Rocket Mortgage Classic at the prestigious Detroit Golf Club. I think that was just last weekend. But yeah, it was brutal. So we'll celebrate the country the best we can today and try to ignore the reality of what our product is on the field when we're trotting out Kenta Maeda start after start after start. And to make matters worse, yeah, he's on a 2-year deal. Jack Flaherty, he got a 1-year deal, but Kenta Maeda got 2. Great job, Scott Harris. Great. We love that. There we go. Johnny Bryles is up next. What's happening? Why would they have a rain delay? Need to call today. Enough is enough. Hey, that's what we're doing here on Locked On Sports Detroit, Locked On Tigers postcast. We're getting on with our day, man. Like I said, there's hot dogs to be eaten. I actually have some steaks that are marinating right now that we're going to grill immediately following the conclusion of our Locked On Tigers postcast. And if you watched the Nathan's hot dog eating contest earlier today, I think shout out to my guy Jim Costa over at 97 The Ticket. Of course, he accurately predicted who was going to win, and the guy was like plus 750 odds to win. I mean, Costa is a legend with stuff like that. I got to believe. Oh, my man, Matthew Peterson is in the comments. What's happening, Matthew Peterson? Happy 4th of July. The only thing we have going for us today on Locked On Sports Detroit and for Locked On Tigers postcast, we're not the Cubs. And my main man, Matthew Peterson there, huge Cubs fan. And I had to remind him, aren't the Cubs like 14-30? And I believe he corrected me, 15-31 in their last, however many, math is hard, and however many games that is, 46. And not good over there on the north side of the Windy City. That said, who doesn't love the Cubs? Go Cubs, go. Yeah, there you go. That's a shout out to my guy, Matthew Peterson, YouTube user, a regular here on the program. I definitely was hoping to see better results from Maeda this 2024 season. Yeah, join the club. Weren't we all? Kenta was fairly good for his teams in previous seasons. Yeah, he was. Benetti said it on the broadcast. I think he was the Cy Young runner-up in the American League less than 5 years ago. I don't know if it was. I should have paid closer attention, but my goodness, yeah, it's been rough for Kenta Maeda. Oh, we got some questions in the comments there with Matthew Peterson, YouTube user. Good question here, and I think this is where we go from here. Better Tiger, Javi Baez or Justin Verlander? Petey, you're going to get blocked here in a second. My goodness, you're going to get blocked. Absolutely. Javi Baez, I think, is on the short list. Actually, Javi Baez, Kenta Maeda. Oh, man, there's a couple other Tigers that I would put on my Mount Rushmore of most hated Tigers. Quentin Berry, for me, everyone thought he was going to be great in that 2006 World Series, and he was just terrible. And, oh, man, there's a couple other ones that I just Mike Pelfrey was a terrible deal from the Minnesota Twins, I believe. Starting pitcher that I just absolutely can't stand. But no, we're not going to do our most hated Tigers, but Javi Baez is number one on that list. We got Jeffrey Cooperstein checking into the comments. How about that, sports fans? Shout out to Coop. We got everybody in the comments here this afternoon on a 4th of July, America's birthday. Tigers and Twins in a rain delay. We'll keep refreshing the good old MLB TV. Just kind of when it goes to a rain delay, just blocks you out and says, hey, this game's in a rain delay. So we don't actually have any way of keeping you updated or keeping you abreast of the situation. That's one of my favorite big J, capital J journalism words. We'll keep you abreast on the situation because God forbid we just say, yeah, we'll keep you updated on how it goes. All right, top of the hour with Corey Leland, one of our favorites here on Locked On Tigers. If Green Day wrote songs about 2024 Tigers, Wake me up when Maeda ends. That's good. That's good. I love that. You got me laughing already on the first segment of Locked On Tigers postcast. Absolutely. Wake me up when Maeda ends. And hey, like I said, it's a 2-year deal, but let's get serious, Scott Harris. Let's get serious as an organization. You got to DFA. You got to just cut him loose. Sorry. That's as blunt as we can be. Demetrius McNeil, one of the real ones, a regular here on Locked On Tigers postcast. Once upon a time, 3 Tigers led 3-0. All of a sudden, 12 unanswered runs. That's disgusting. Yeah, my favorite, Joe Buck. That is a disgusting act. And that's what we watched here this afternoon on 4th of July, and America's birthday, no less. Oh, man. All right, we'll continue taking your comments and checking in on the state of this Tigers team. It's another series loss, assuming that they don't come back from 12-3 down. But, down 9 runs. The Tigers aren't scoring 9 runs for another probably 4 or 5 games, if I were to guess, because they already had their little breakout game that they have once every 2 weeks. They had that just last game. So if we play the law of averages, the Tigers down 9 runs, they'll score 9 runs and give or take the next 3 or 4 games. So that's coming up next. Don't go anywhere. It's another series loss. We're going to talk about our favorite 4th of July traditions and other things that we love about the Detroit Tigers, not named Kenta Maeda, because he doesn't need to continue to take up all of the real estate of today's show, because that's how bad he's been. So don't go anywhere. Locked On Tigers will be back in just a moment. All right, today's show brought to you by Ibotta. All you got to use is code LOCKEDONMLB, and let me tell you a little bit about the free Ibotta app. That's right. Everybody's spending money. You got to do it. It's all part of life. You got to pay for gas. You got to pay for groceries. Maybe you want to take your girlfriend out for dinner, fiance, whatever it may be. Maybe you're recently engaged to be married and you want to do something special. You're going to spend money. That's just the way life is. And Ibotta has you covered. Whether you're buying sandals, sunscreen, snacks for the 4th of July picnic, whatever you're doing, maybe you're even taking that dream vacation this summer, but you're dreading the cost. With Ibotta, you get cash back on all your purchases. Let me just say that again, in case you're hard of hearing. With Ibotta, you get cash back on all your purchases. So you can spend more time making memories this summer and less time worrying about the finances. It's summertime, guys. Come on, kick back. Crack a couple of cold ones. And oh yeah, by the way, it's time to barbecue this season. Stock up on all your grilling favorites and earn cash back on every purchase when you use Ibotta. You don't have to choose between burgers or hot dogs. You can get them both because you're getting cash back. Ibotta is a free app that lets you earn cash back every time you shop. Earn on hundreds of items from groceries to beauty supplies, even toys, so you can make everything feel brand new. You're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. Let me say that again. Make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. The average Ibotta user earns $256 per year. $256. That's a lot of trips to Starbucks. You could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip off the books with Ibotta. Right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 for just trying Ibotta using the code LOCKEDONMLB when you register. Just go to the App Store or Google Play if you're one of those people. Store and download the free Ibotta app. Start earning cash back and use code LOCKEDONMLB. That's code LOCKEDONMLB. That's IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store. Use code LOCKEDONMLB. All right, segment 2 of the program. Tigers in the midst of a rain delay against the Twins in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs, which we should know, kind of a scary moment there. That I'll be honest, like I said, I was working on the steaks that I'm grilling later today, so I obviously had the game on. But when you're down 12-3, I'm not going to be dialed into every pitch. But that's that. If you think less of me for that, I certainly understand. But I am who I am. Absolute transparency. That's what you get. But Shelby, Miller was pitching, and he smoked Jeffers almost in the face. It was a four-seam fastball, slipped out of his hands with the rain. And not even joking, not a good moment there, and obviously nothing intentional about it, just a difficult situation with the weather conditions. So Jeffers looked to be okay though, and I think that was kind of the example of, hey, we need to, I would say just call the game, but at least stop playing for right now when it was that close to being something really, really, really bad. But Jeffers looked to be okay. And again, it was just a product of the conditions not being favorable to pitching or throwing fastballs for that matter. And you got to stop the play at that point. But again, it's a complete game. The start time of this game was moved up because we obviously can all look at a radar and see the inclement weather that's coming in Minnesota and trying to get that game in. And you got enough in. I mean, the Twins scored 12 unanswered runs. The Tigers have 3. Just take everybody out of the misery. I just don't understand it. I think Benetti was even hinting on that. And I would also add to the Tigers broadcast team, to their credit, they made this game very entertaining. Johnny Kane, just like last night, he was interviewing the kids that caught the Riley Green home run ball. Today, he was interviewing the hot dog crew. I mean, this was a group of grown men dressed up as hot dogs that go from stadium to stadium to stadium. And they got their plenty of free pub on the TV broadcast of the Tigers today. And you had Carlos Pena in the booth. I think he's done a tremendous job. I was reading some comments about him on X, and usually X is a place where people are just very, very negative, but a lot of people giving Carlos Pena his flowers. I thought the remarks about his relationship with Brad Pitt on last night's broadcast was pretty funny, how Brad Pitt wanted to rent out his house in the Dominican Republic, but he said no because he didn't let him play himself in the movie Moneyball. All good stuff. I mean, that's the kind of chatter you got to do when you have as bad of a team as the Tigers, who are about to be 9 games under 500 at 39-48. Could we just make this game final so that we can update everything? I mean, I have given the Tigers the loss, and if that makes me less of a fan, less of a Tigers guy, I understand, but I'm also a realist. And you know what? It is what it is. One of my least favorite sayings, but it actually is relevant in this case. So Kenta Maeda shelled. It's another series loss for the Tigers, and we were counting them other than the series win against the White Sox, which was, how many weekends? Almost 2 weeks ago. The Tigers have just lost every series that they've played, going all the way back to June 7th. They won the first series of June in Texas against the Rangers, taking 2 of 3. But after that, beginning Friday, June 7th, series lost to the Brewers, series lost to the Nationals, series lost to the Houston Astros, series swept by the Braves, series win over the White Sox, series lost to the Phillies, series loss to the Angels, and now series loss to the Minnesota Twins. Not good. And you get closer and closer to understanding that, this is when we start talking about selling at the deadline. A lot of chatter on Carson Kelly's all of a sudden resurgence in the month of June to now where he'll have some value on the trade wire as it comes time to make a deal. And then we get to see Dylan Dingler. I feel like we were talking about Dylan Dingler in like 2019 for this can't miss prospect, but finally it is time to bring him up to the major leagues. Nice comment here from top of the hour with Corey Leland. When does the Joey Wentz experiment end? No, Joey Wentz is the perfect guy to replace Kenta Maeda because you're down 10 runs anytime Kenta Maeda starts, and you need that guy to just go in and eat up innings. That's not very good. And Joey Wentz is the perfect candidate for that. He actually did have a nice start to the season, but since things went awry in Kansas City, he's just been absolutely terrible, but that's everybody. I mean, I hate to cherry pick and point out players for the Tigers that haven't been good because it's just not fair to the other 25 guys that have also been terrible. But Wentz, 2 1/3, gives up 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned run, walked 3. any way you slice up this box score, and any box score for that matter, it's just not going to look good any way you slice it. One more comment here from top of the hour with Corey Leland. They should have just thrown in the towel, pretty much what they do when Joey enters a game, and head to Ohio. Yeah, exactly. It's getaway day. It's the 4th of July. Everybody on this stream, we've all got beer to drink, hot dogs to cook, steak to grill, you name it. We've got things to do on 4th of July. And riffing about Tigers baseball will satisfy us for a little bit here, and then it's time to get on with our lives because this team is just not good. So we'll tie a bow on it. A little 4th of July and baseball conversation, because what's more American than that? We do it next on Locked On Tigers Postcast. This episode of Locked On Tigers Postcast is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. With summer heating up, especially travel for baseball games, it's time to explore those U.S. cities you always secretly wanted to learn more about. Yes, we're talking about your rival cities. In this case, maybe it's Minnesota. Maybe you're at the game like some of those fans that got interviewed on the telecast the last couple of nights. But with hotels, bed and breakfast, vacation rentals, resorts, and so much more on Booking.com, you might just find your perfect stay even in your baseball rival's city. Now, I can remember so many times, I've said it time and time again on this program, those are some of my best memories as a kid. Road tripping with the grandparents, with my brothers, with my cousins, going to all the different ballparks. And part of that is the importance, the logistical side that grandma always handled with flying colors, of where you're going to stay. So you want to make those memories, but you also got to take care of the logistical sides of things. And Booking.com, Booking.yeah, makes it super, super easy. And maybe you're a New York fan heading to Boston to catch a baseball game on Boston's turf, who wants their team to win, but also excited to have a lobster roll and falls in love with the waterfront hotel that you booked on Booking.com. Maybe you're going to the Motor City. We got the Dodgers coming to town. I'm going to the game on Friday. I want to see Shohei Ohtani in action for myself. I saw him once for the Angels, and it was glorious. So you know what? If I've got a couple of games to pick out, I am going to go to Comerica Park when the Dodgers are playing. But maybe you want to come into town, make sure you use Booking.com, Booking.yeah for all of your hotels. And that's not just hotels. We're talking hotels that overlook stadiums, family-friendly resorts. Booking.com has so many choices across the U.S. for your summer travel this MLB season. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. Book today on Booking.com, on the site, or on the Booking.com app. Today's show is also made possible by Game Time. It's the best ticketing app and the only ticketing app that you'll need. There's a couple of different reasons why, but probably most importantly is the guaranteed of the lowest price, even as we get closer and closer to first pitch or closer and closer to the event. The other thing I love about Game Time, the all-in pricing. How many times do you go to buy tickets to an event and all of a sudden you think you're getting a great deal, you check out, fee? No, Game Time's all-in pricing. You see exactly what you're going to pay. And as I mentioned, that price continues to go down as you get closer and closer to first pitch. And it's great for more than just baseball. NFL season's coming up. You want to get your tickets on Game Time. Oh, don't forget about concerts. It's concert season. In fact, concerts would be better than going to a Tigers game. I can guarantee that. Comedy shows, you name it, any live event, Game Time's got you covered. And it's also a super easy to use app. Listen, I'm not the most technologically savvy or advanced type of person. So if I can use the Game Time app, anybody can. It's a few clicks. You get a nice high resolution photo of what your view will be like from your seat. So there's no deception. And it takes over maybe a minute. That's it. And you've got your ticket ready to go. And as it comes to Major League Baseball, cool thing about Game Time is it is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer you get to first pitch. So don't take my word for it. You got to take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. The create that account, redeem the code Locked On MLB. And because we love you and we care about you, I'll spell it out for you. It's LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, a couple more minutes on the program here as we close it out on this 4th of July. I keep refreshing my live box score, and it looks like this game has officially gone final. Praise the Lord. Thank goodness. My goodness. I don't know why they just didn't do that from the very, very beginning. But hey, here we are. It is officially in the books. 12-3, the final, and the lengthy rain delay results in the inevitable, the Tigers losing, and what feels like the inevitable, the Tigers losing another series. But hey, that's what happens when you have a young baseball team, like Scott Harris would say. We knew this was coming. And, you know, God forbid we tried to build around a superstar like Tarek Skubal. And God forbid we go out and spend some money. No, we'd rather have one of the lowest payrolls in baseball and sign Mark Canha and cross our fingers and hope for the best, because why would we try to build a roster? But don't worry, we got a lot of roster flexibility. Anybody can play any position at any time. It's like a Little League team. It's great. You're going to love it. But all right, happy thoughts. 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. I mentioned I've got some steaks marinating right now. Curious what your favorite 4th of July tradition is. Talked to some buddies earlier this morning on the air. We got some people playing wiffle ball today. That's always a good 4th of July tradition. My family back in Michigan on the boat, a couple of them up north in the Traverse City area. I believe they're on Lake Leelanau today. That's a great tradition as well. My other brother, I believe, is on Higgins Lake. If you're in the Michigan area, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Jason Walter off to Ohio. Crap, it's Ohio. I'm not sure if you're referring to the Tigers, who are also off to Ohio, going to play the Cincinnati Reds, or if you mean you yourself personally are off to Ohio, which is a bummer, because 4th of July should be spent in the great state of Michigan. There's so many lakes. There's so many good times. East side, west side, up north, you name it. Mid-Michigan, where I'm from, you can always find some good 4th of July stuff going on in summertime in northern Michigan. All right, I shouldn't sing, but you get the idea. Best 4th of July baseball scene movie, obviously The Sandlot, when you got the great Hambino grabbing a couple extra hot dogs. Then you see him playing the night game. They only play one night game a year, and it's because the fireworks light up the sky enough to play. I love The Sandlot. I could watch that movie on repeat. But other good 4th of July traditions, if you're into the hot dog eating contest, that was earlier today. Cornhole by the water is a good one. I talked to some buddies who have a golf outing every year around 4th of July. So you want to get out and hit the links. That's always fun as well. As long as you are spending quality time with the people you love and you care about, that's what 4th of July is all about. And those that made our country free, all those that have served, veterans, and those that are active military continuing to defend our freedom in the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. So Tigers lose this one to the Twins. Rain shortened game, final 12-3. Twins score 12 unanswered. Kenta Maeda gets the loss. He's 2-5. Gets shelled for 9 earned runs in just 3 2/3. Offensively, Colt Keith, nice little game from him. Home run, had the 2 hits, and Jake Rogers had the 2-run double. And tomorrow, the Tigers are taking on the Cincinnati Reds. So we'll be with you, as always, following the final out or rain delay if it's late in the game. Either way, we've got you covered. But 3-game series to wrap up the road trip that shockingly has not gone very well. 2-6 on this road trip. No, 2-5. I'm sorry, 2-5. Math is hard. 3 more games on the road trip against the Cincinnati Reds. But that's going to do it for me. Happy 4th of July to everybody. Shout out to the real ones that are here every single day. Make sure you subscribe to Locked On Sports Detroit. Check out Locked On Tigers during the week with Scott Bentley, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on Locked On Tigers Postcast. Happy 4th of July, and have a wonderful rest of your Independence Day.